Hello and welcome again to Reopening Hamilton County Schools, a video program where we share information with you on reopening our schools for parents, students, and also the community. Hello and welcome. Today we're going to talk with Grant Knowles, who is working with technology in the Office of Innovation and Choice. And Grant, you have worked on something called single sign-on for parents this year. And for those of us who deal with a lot of programs, I know as parents have worked with their students at home, there are different platforms and different usernames, passwords that they have to remember. And this will make it much easier for parents to be able to work with their students at home as we have added a lot of people really working at home right now with their kids, with about 30% of our students, around 14,000 or so in HCS at home. And then we have record enrollment in the virtual school. So a lot of need for this. Single sign-on means I just have to remember one username and password, which is huge for people like me. It's difficult to remember. Some may require you to have a symbol, and some may want 8 characters, some may want 10. And so tell us about this single sign-on, Grant, and what it's going to do for parents as they're working with children at home with their learning that is so important for all of our kids right now.
Sure. So I think the number one thing that we heard as we talked with all various stakeholders, with students, with teachers, with families, was that they're just, when we pivoted in March and went to remote learning, there was just, like I said, so many different resources, and each one of those different resources had a different password. Some were pictures, some were numbers, all of that. So this single sign-on that we use, ClassLink, that's new to us this year, allows each student to have just that one. They use their username and password, and that's going to then get them into everything else. A lot of those resources are already preloaded with their own username and password inside of ClassLink. A few of them you log in one time, the teacher can help with that, and then you're not having to keep up with that password. No matter how you're writing that down or trying to save that, it's a password saver and locker for you.
But this technology is really going to be important, I think, for parents as they're working with their kids, whether it's HCS at home or, we don't know throughout the school year when we may have to be learning remotely because of maybe a case at a school. So how have you guys tried to work this year to make this easier for parents in a difficult situation?
Yeah, I think that's it. So we've been kind of thinking about ClassLink almost like it's your suitcase that's packed for whenever you need it. If you're in the school, you're able to unpack that and use it. It's a lot of the same resources, or it's the same resources that you would use, in school in a regular non-COVID environment. But this way, students are prepared if at any given point you're needing to be home the next day because of a deep cleaning or case, things like that. You've got that suitcase, it's already packed. So no matter where you go, and you can log in, it's web-based. So anywhere you were to travel at any point, anywhere you go, it's still that one username, that one password that gets you into everything else. So it really is that kind of suitcase that keeps you ready to go no matter what phase, no matter what option. It just provides that holding place for everything for students and families.
So if I'm a parent and I'm using this, and I haven't used it before, so when I go into ClassLink, I've logged in, I'm ready to go. What can I expect to see, and how do I get to the different options of different learning platforms that my child may be using?
Sure. So if you think of an iPhone with the different tiles that pop up, or most smartphones have the different tiles, it's going to look just like that. So you're able to see all the different possibilities right in front of you. There's a whole app library in there that you can add on. As a parent, it's been fun to sit down with my sons and pick a few extra, but what populates on that front screen, what you're going to see when you log on that first time, is what's been assigned to you by your students' teachers. So at central office, what we're doing is listening to what the teachers are using. We're making some recommendations about what to use, but anything that's on that front screen is something that the students are going to be using pretty regularly. And then you have the ability to add some additional resources, just a couple clicks if you wanted to add something else. But you're going to see some kind of either Canvas or Class Dojo where your students are going to get their assignments. And then you're going to see additional resources, things like iReady, or Flipgrid that allow them extra practice or other ways to communicate. But it's all kind of right there for just a click away.
Okay, so what are you hearing so far from parents who are using this, and what's the response at this point?
So I think as a parent myself, it's been really helpful. My two boys' teachers were great. In March and April, we had this bright orange card with all their passwords and usernames, and it would disappear in an instant. So just being able to have that as a parent, so that my son has loaded now on his Chromebook, as soon as he opens it, it's good to go. So the first, occasionally there's some hiccups that first time, but we're here to make sure that we're helping teachers help students get that ready to go. But once you get in that first time, you get it loaded, it's just staying hot and ready to use at any point. And so the feedback has been positive. Any hiccups with that, we can help parents through the tech hotline or through their teachers directly.
All right, so if somebody does have a question or an issue that they would like to ask about, how can they contact you, or how can they get additional information?
Yeah, so I think the best way, if you're having a specific tech challenge, is to use that tech hotline, and that gets right to our IT department. But I think in a lot of cases, the best thing, sometimes you're going to have your student, if you have challenged that first time, your student's username and password is something that your teachers have access to, and they can help out get that loaded. But once it's loaded, it should be good to go, and you've got that suitcase packed.
Excellent, wonderful. I appreciate taking the time to share with us single sign-on and how that's going to help parents working with their children this year in HCS at home, and also our students in virtual school and students who may be at home, possibly even quarantining during the school year, or if the school is closed. All of these things are going to help us as a district to help our kids learn, and that's really what it's all about, keeping children learning during this difficult time of pandemic, and making sure that trying to have some normalcy in their life that keeps them growing and progressing as young learners. And appreciate your time. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Tim.
Thank you for joining us for Reopening Hamilton County Schools, where we've shared more information with you. Make sure you check our website every day to understand where we are on our phase tracker on how schools will open. You'll find that at the top of our homepage. Look for the phase that we're in currently. Click on that right at the top of the homepage, and you'll see the data tracker that allows you to look at exactly where we are with cases in the community and what phase that puts us in as a school district. We hope you join us again for Reopening Hamilton County Schools.